Hi, everybody. Welcome to another adventure, an episode of From Adversity to Awakening, Transforming Hardships into Greater Spiritual Connection and Joy. I'm your host, Peggy O'Neill. Hopefully, you've been here before, and I have a very, very special guest today, Mr. Vinny Tolman. And Vinny has got a very unique life experience and has become a bit of a sojourner towards the truth with me. I'm so glad to have met him, and he's been so supportive. Anyway, I'm gonna tell you a little bit. Oh, anyway, hi, Vinny.
Hi, everybody. It's great. It's great to be here.
Yeah, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. So I'm gonna just tell you a little bit about him. That Vincent or Vinny Tolman was born in Arlington, Texas, and has since traveled around the world, living in both Cambodia and Thailand. At age 25, he experienced the ultimate adversity, death. And he was put in a body bag only to be revived and come back, sorry, and in a coma for 3 days. This experience completely changed him, and now he offers the world a profound perspective of existence. A little bit about his heart. He loves animals, meditating, and spending time in nature. His greatest priorities are his relationship with his creator, his family, and the people he meets. He currently lives in Las Vegas, Nevada, with his wife, Andrea, and their two children. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited. You're the first person that I've interviewed with a near-death experience. And I don't even know if you're going to talk about that today, but I I know that you have gone, that experience put you through a significant transformation. And in that transformation, you have come through with much greater, I mean, quintessential, more connection with your creator, with your higher self, with the people around you, and with in your area of influence. And I imagine that all that has increased. And in fact, I've heard you talk a lot about how it's increased your joy. So we're going to talk about all that today, and hopefully you'll tell us your story and how that process came about for you. So we could begin by just the first thing I'm always curious about is what's been your greatest adversity or adversities?
For me, it is to forget about what I'm seeing here and now and remember what I know from my experience. Because many times I feel that all of us get kind of a tunnel vision of what's going on right now, and that makes us forget what's really important. It makes us forget the true perspective of this existence.
Yeah. So I would say that's more of a challenge than actually, do you think that's actually your great, like,
That is
a
that
hardship?
is yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a hardship for me. And the reason why is I know the opposite. I know the solution. I know where I was, I know where I am.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I forget where I am, that's
Yeah.
when that is an
Yeah.
adversity for me.
Yeah, so I just want to, when you said that want to not be exactly where I am, I mean, there is a thing about being in the here and now that brings us fully present and makes that deeper self accessible.
Hmm.
And I think really, with if I were to rephrase it, it would be to be in the moment with with my full faculties, with all the depth of all the different levels of who I am and what I have access to, meaning connection with the creator into each moment, especially when I forget, which
Yeah,
is a lot of the time.
absolutely.
And I mean, I feel like that is my greatest challenge as well. I mean, really. Yeah. So,
It reminds me of a badger. If you've ever had any work or experience with a badger, if you're ever walking around and you're hiking around, you step into a badger hole, um, and the badger starts to attack you, all you have to do is take your shoe off and leave it there, and the badger continues to attack the shoe, but not you. And it's like sometimes that's us. Sometimes we get so focused on what's right in front of us,
right.
we forget where we are and what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. beautiful. So how do you feel like you've been working through that adversity?
Absolutely. Yeah. Every
Yeah,
single day, every single month, working it through. And a lot of times it's not even me reminding me, it's usually spirit. They're saying, "Hey,
yeah,
you think that's really that important?"
yeah,
And I'm like, "No, it's not, of course."
yeah.
Yeah.
So would you share with us a little bit about your experience of how you sort of had um an opening into this world of this thing that you're talking about, that if you brought your full self there?
Yeah. So it all started back in 2003. I was taking a workout supplement. I had ordered one online, and this online version was 20 times stronger than the regular one. But it didn't say it in English on the box. So
Whoops.
I took my regular dose, but come to find out that was 20 times the dose I should have taken. And in doing so, my body reacted in a very bad way, which understandably, 20 times the dose. But I ended up passing out in a public bathroom at a Dairy Queen. And about an hour later, I was found and pronounced dead
Yeah,
and
because
put
the
in a,
door was locked.
it was locked. Pronounced dead, put in a body bag. I was being taken to the medical examiner's office when a rookie medic felt divinity speak to him and tell him that I wasn't all the way dead. So he went ahead and unzipped that body bag, broke protocol, which almost got him fired, and started shocking the body to try to bring the heart back. And he was able to get the heart back on the third round of shocks.
Awesome.
So that's where it all starts. That's where my current life began its new beginning, is with this new beginning of this new life. I was still brain dead for 3 days. So I was brain dead in a coma for 3 days. And during those 3 days, I was off. I joke around that I was gallivanting in heaven, but in a way, it's no joke. I was legitimately going to the heavenly space or the heavenly realm for the whole 3 days. And at the end of the 3 days, I was forced back, and the rest is history. I changed my life because of it. Am I perfect in any way, shape, or form? Not even close. But am I different? A heck of a lot different than I was before. All of my priorities are different, all of them since then.
Okay, I'm not exactly sure how to have you weave together. So I'd love for you to share a little bit about your experience there in heaven, a little bit. Especially I love that part with the grass and the water and
Yeah, on my way there, on my journey there, I met someone. I met a guy that he called himself my guide, and he took me on this journey. He introduced me to that heavenly realm. He helped me discover and feel the grass, and the grass itself. Just having my toes come down and meet, like literally meet. And yes, I did have toes. We all have an energetic body.
mm-hmm.
It's much bigger than these physical bodies, but I was in my energetic body and my toes came down and touched the grass, and I could feel the pristine love coming from that grass. I could feel the unconditional, graceful love coming to me, and a love that there's no way to earn it. There's no way to think you can earn it. It's 100% grace, this love. And that love, as it permeated me, it started to heal me. And as I discovered the flowers, I had just a total freak out moment when I discovered the flowers, and everything there. It has a scent coming off of it more than just like what we have here. It actually had music coming off of everything. So like even the grass had music coming off of it. The flowers had their own music coming off of it. But each petal and of every flower and every blade of grass was a different shade. So there was, just singularity everywhere you went there. and I could feel this divine intelligence behind all of
Mhm.
this network of love, but at the same time I could feel the individual consciousness of a single blade of grass or a single petal on a flower. And it was quite amazing. And then amidst all of that, I had water approach me. It came out of a stream, came over to me, and it asked me by touching my toes, "Do you want us on you?" And I said yes, and it came up over me, and it brought me a healing I didn't know was possible. This life was pretty rough on me as a kid,
Mhm.
and
Had an abusive
yeah,
parent.
a lot of abuse and for
Mhm.
decades, and that abuse was essentially wiped away with this water. It went in there and it took care of every little crack and crook and damage that that abuse had given me. It healed it. It sealed it up.
Mhm.
Now, when I came back, I did have to rediscover that healing process, but while I was there, I was completely healed of that abuse. And what an amazing gift it was just to go through that. And that was the very beginning of me getting to that heavenly space. And I did spend 3 days there. So I got to really experience what it was there before I was rejected and kicked out. I was sent back home. I was sent packing. Yeah.
So I'm curious, I haven't really heard you talk about the that was the beginning. So how did being purified of those traumas and those stuck energies inside of your body and having that openness and the comprehension of consciousness is love and love that's everywhere and it's showing up in all of these beautiful, diverse ways. How was it to be with all of that for 3 days?
Well, at first, my first question to divinity was why? Why me? What did I do to deserve such great love and grace and beauty and light?
Um,
And the response was consistent at every level that I asked it. And what the response was, because you are. And that's it. Just because I do exist. And I was shown that, all of life wants to have a chance, a shot at Earth school. It's the hardest school to get into. And if you can get in there, the entire universe feels that you're kind of a cream of the crop or best of the best. Even the worst of us are considered the best of the best comparatively to all the rest of the universe because there is such a strong polarity in the Earth school.
right.
There is such great good and such bad evil in one place, and nowhere else in the world is there that. Such a duality. It doesn't exist in a single place except for in Earth school.
Do you think that they have the variety of the not the amount of emotions, but the intensity of the scale of bliss and despair?
What I noticed is since my experience, I've really dived into or dove into this topic, and I've looked into other schools, other places that souls can go. And what you find is that range of motion is much tighter. From
Mhm.
the greatest to the worst, it's much tighter. Whereas in Earth School, it is so broad.
Yeah.
It's literally night and day.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the night and day idea that we see here. It is the expressment of that duality where we
Right.
have just as much chance of going into the dark as we do the light. Yeah.
That's a little scary. But profound. And I was thinking that if there was such a diversity in the polarity, that that would also get reflected in the emotional experience. And I know in my own life that the more I am able to be present and reach into the depths of feelings with difficult, let's just call them difficult emotions, whether it's rage or abandonment or anguish or whatever, like some really intense emotions, that my ability to experience bliss in the small things and bliss in the moment, that capacity continues. to increase. So I notice that the polarity of my emotions expands.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does. With that great propensity to win, you have the great propensity to lose. And that's the beauty about Earth School is it forces you to eventually choose. Where do you associate your soul? Do you associate towards the light? Do you associate towards the fear or towards the dark?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So you were saying how I was asking you, I asked you, how did it go? How was it being in heaven for 3 days, having that your sense of the veil being removed between you and the creator? I'm going to say it that
It
way.
was
Is that accurate?
yeah, it was absolutely um amazing. It was pristine. It was uh, fundamentally life-changing just to be there, even for 5 seconds, let alone 3 days. Yeah, to be there that long and experience that just tremendous love for us. And I kept saying, why me? And the answer kept being the same, because you are. Because in my life, I always thought that love and blessings and abundance, they came because of something I did, not because I am. And that's when I learned a new lesson that those blessings are because we are.
Yeah, and I love that you say that it's not, this isn't a courtroom, it's a classroom.
Yes. Yeah.
One of your great
Classroom,
bumper
not a
stickers.
courtroom. Yep.
One of your great bumper stickers.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Life is a classroom, not a courtroom.
yeah, exactly. And I am very moved when you say, I mean, I was crying a minute ago when you said it the first time. So I wanted the audience to understand that when I asked you about your adversity, this gives a perspective on where, like, your big self to your small self. You say it as in being caught up in where you are at the moment and having a, well, you don't say having a broader perspective. How did you say it?
Just more remembering where I really am. You know, sometimes we get such focus on right now and
Ah,
what's right in front of us, we forget where we actually are. And when I say that, I mean that we are souls, spirits, having a mortal physical experience. And sometimes that mortal physical experience becomes so distracting, we forget that we're souls on this journey. And we start acting like a body and not a soul. Yeah.
very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. So as you've been coming, you came back, you got put back in your body, and then you
Yeah.
moving
Got
forward
slammed
with
back
your life.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I love that you were blessed with finding your soulmate almost immediately afterwards, and that you guys have now been together how many years? 20s,
21 years now.
21
Yep.
years. Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. So, how would you say that? So I think, maybe how I would call your biggest adversity is the integration of your soul into your human self.
Yes. And I'm still doing that. I'm still in the process of integrating what I learned into what I am. And
Yeah.
that's going to be a continual process. I don't think I ever get done with that until I'm done with this life. Yeah.
Well, I can really, I agree with you on that. So how has doing the integration, um, created greater connection for you with the creator, with spirit, with your higher self, with nature, with people, all of it?
Well, number one, I love to ask myself a very simple question.
Mm.
In 1 year, is this going to matter?
Oh, that's a really good one.
And then if I say yes, I'll follow up with, in 5 years, is this really going to matter? And then if I say yes, in at the end of my life, is this going to matter? And if I say yes to all three, it's something I need to keep my attention on. I need to keep my efforts invested into. But
Mhm.
if I get a no at any one of those levels, then it's probably something I should lean out of or lean away from, not something I should invest my energy into.
So what are some examples of the things that you've gotten a yes all the way through on?
Being a good dad, being
Mm.
a good husband,
Mm,
learning how to be a good dad and husband because it's not natural, not for all of us.
right.
Especially who I was before I had my experience. I was very ego driven. I was an amateur bodybuilder. I was working in TV and film. I was very much about money, career, and body. And what I didn't realize is all three of those are gods. We can worship our bodies. We can worship other bodies. We can worship money. We can worship our career. And I was kind of worshiping all three back then. And now I make sure I do a daily check-in that my worship goes to the creator and only the creator. And what I do is I try to find the creator in the faces of those around me every day. And it's a beautiful process. You can actually see God, divinity, looking back at you through the faces of those around you, even strangers. I saw a homeless man yesterday that he looked so destitute and so lowly. But in reaching out to him and having a quick little interaction yesterday, I saw my creator looking at me and I saw the glisten in his beautiful eyes.
Mm,
And I knew that is how we find God, is God is everywhere. And I don't mean the religion God. I don't mean the one that triggers so many people. I mean the real one.
yeah.
I mean the one that is Aramaic for God, which is Abun. And Abun, the word God in Aramaic, it means cosmic birther of life. The
Source,
one the one
source
who
of life.
the one who breathed the cosmos into existence. That is creator, that is source. Or Yahweh, which to me it's very tantamount to breath, Yahweh. The Yah, which is the inhale, the way as the exhale, because we are God's breath, all of us. And the first thing we'll do in this existence is breathe. And the very last thing we'll do in this existence is
Right.
breathe.
Yeah.
So we get to seal the deal, start the deal and seal the deal with God. Yeah.
Very beautiful. Very beautiful. I had an experience like that yesterday with a 3-year-old when I was waiting in line at the post office.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids that age, they're
There's
still plugged into God. Their charge cord is still plugged into heaven.
That's why I took every opportunity to interact with him and engage with him because I knew I'd get a quick um touch with source, and I certainly did. Yeah, so that's so
Kids
beautiful.
are amazing until they're about 6, 7 years old. They're still plugged into heaven. It's awesome. It's such a beautiful thing to witness. They're so happy, so full of love and unconditional love. No matter whether you give them what they want or not, they still just love you so much. Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of joy, I want to ask you about how did your working with this challenge and having your experience of, I'm going to call it truth,
hmm
how has that increased your and having this greater connection with the creator? How do you feel like that's impacted the level of joy or the amount or the ways that you feel joy now in your life?
Well, it's one of those things where once you experience such a high level of joy, it's almost like a high with a drug.
Yeah,
You're consistently trying to seek after that same level of highness with that love from source.
yeah,
But the way that I look at it is instead of always aiming so high to achieve that level of joy, just appreciate the joys that are and try to set up and build as many of those joys as you can in your daily life. But it's one of those things where you have to consciously think, I want and I will have joy. And as you think that, you begin to work towards that. And it's a daily process. But here's the one thing we've got to do a little bit better, all of us. The joys that are there, we've got to appreciate them. And in that appreciation, we are going to create even more joy.
beautiful. So could you give us some examples of ways that you experience
Well,
the joy?
yeah, I'll tell you just a simple thing. Yesterday, I woke up. wasn't feeling so good. My body fights me on a lot of things, and it's because my body is a physical body, and I know my soul is not a physical soul. It's an energetic soul, and it lives in this physical body. So sometimes they get at odds with each other, and yesterday they were at odds with each other. So I woke up and I decided I'm going to choose to make this a really good day. And all the times that my body wanted to say no, I stepped in front of that no and said, body, I'm going to say yes. And it made me a little uncomfortable, made me tired a little bit by the end of the day. My little 4-year-old wanted to have a campfire out back and roast some marshmallows on Halloween night. And normally that late at night, I would say no way, but it was Halloween. The week is almost over, and my higher self said, go for it. And so I did. And it's those simple little things is because I chose to make the day a good day. And we get that opportunity every day. We can choose to make this meeting a good meeting, to make this day at work or this day at school or this day at home a good day. But it's our choosing to do it first, putting our intention out there in front of us. That's what opens that door for us a lot of times. Because too many of us are waiting for those good days to happen to us,
Yeah.
and we forget that we have that control from the beginning.
That's very beautiful. And also, I thought when you said I woke up and I felt, my body didn't feel good, a lot of times people wake up and their emotions don't feel good. Maybe they
Yeah.
feel depressed or anxious or whatever gamut of emotions, and that you can still choose, I'm still gonna be present with what I'm doing. I'm still gonna make contact. I'm still gonna say something nice to the person that is at the checkout counter, whatever.
Yep.
Right.
But the most important one to be nice to is that stranger you look at in the mirror. That's the one
Exactly.
that you got to be the nicest to.
Exactly.
And if you can wake up every day and say, I choose to have a good day for them, it becomes a habit after a while. It does. And
Yeah.
I'm nowhere close to perfect about it, but I am getting better every day about choosing to have a good day. And
Yeah.
no matter what happens, I have a good day.
Yeah, and I think it also I had a I think it's about giving ourselves permission to let our happy meter go up, right?
Yes,
Um
absolutely. Yeah.
I interviewed somebody the other day and I recognized that she had success across the board in her life and with every endeavor, and she couldn't really talk about her her happiness level. And after the recording finished, I said to her, I feel like your empowerment would be vitalized by giving yourself permission to feel supremely happy.
My grandfather used to ask me all the time when I was a child, say, "How you doing today?" And I'd say, "I'm doing good." He's like, "Why don't you tell your face?" It's like, why don't we start
Right.
showing outwardly that we're doing good? And sometimes just that little effort of putting a smile on our face, it changes our day. We start
Yeah.
broadcasting positivity.
Or just by saying to ourselves, it's okay for me to be having a lot of happiness, even though XYZ person or persons are not,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
That
Yeah.
was her thing, that she didn't want to use it as a form of separation. But I
Yeah.
think that that has, to do with certain kind of conditioning, right? That, yeah. So it's so beautiful that okay, so how about your happiness meter, Vinny? How
Well,
do you
mine,
feel like it's
mine
working?
Yeah, mine doesn't, let's say 10 is the high and 1 the low. Mine doesn't necessarily wake up at a 10 all the time, but my goal is always a 10 every day.
That's a
It
beautiful thing.
is. My goal is always a 10. And here's a guarantee, no matter how bad of a day, I choose to make it a 6 or higher, no matter what.
Yeah,
So even if it's just mind over matter, my choice is going to make it a 6. My goal is, of course, to make it a 10 every day. Yeah.
beautiful. And do you feel like the connection that you have with life is part of that?
It is. If you get blessed or cursed to be someone like myself, a lot of people that have had the experiences like I have, you get this little gift of working with spirit where you can talk to spirit.
Mhm.
And when I say spirit, that's like guides, ancestors, loved ones who work around us. And when you get the kind of the peanut gallery always going in the background, it doesn't allow you to be lazy about your happiness.
Very good.
They'll call you out on it regularly. So that does help. That it's almost like an extra conscience inside your brain that's saying, hey, is there a better way of saying that? Is there a nicer way of dealing with them? Why don't you smile the next person you see? Things like that, right? But then other times you can block them, you can turn it off and just say, no, I'm not going to listen to spirit today too. So if you keep it on, it helps keep you honest and keep you attuned to the positive energies. But all of us have that. All
Yeah.
of us have that.
Yeah.
I'm not special. Other people that have this are not special because we are all built with this and we can turn it on. It's up to us to turn it on and make it stronger and stronger as we go.
Are there some things that can help us to hear our guidance better?
Absolutely. Number one, believe that it's there.
Uh-huh.
And it's one of those things, it's like gravity. You could try to fight about it, but it exists.
Right.
That there's no changing that it exists.
Right.
Spirit influence exists. So you just have to believe that it's there first. And then that's number one step. Number two is start giving them opportunity to speak. So for instance, let's pretend praying is like going to Starbucks. Let's pretend just for fun that praying is like going through the drive-through at Starbucks. A lot of us will go up, we order our drink and pastry or whatever, and then we drive home and we complain that we never got our drink. We never got what we asked for. And it's because we didn't take a moment to stop and to either pay the price or to receive the gift that we're asking for. And I say this, that most of us do that with everything in life. We set a goal and then we're upset that we didn't receive it. Well, we're being given the opportunity to pay the price and receive what we want. But most of us don't want to do that part. Most of us just want to just get. And we forget that you have to give yourself a moment. And with prayer, when I pray at night or in the morning, and I'm a pray guy, I pray a lot. When I pray, I give myself quiet time right after to see if there's an answer. And I would say majority of the time there is. If I'm willing to listen, there is an answer. And I can take that answer and I can do things with it to achieve and receive that which I wish to have. Yeah.
Yeah. So making time and a space to listen and to hear, right? And
Yep.
like on your bio, it says that you, one of your favorite things is meditation. And
Yes, I
I,
meditate every day, multiple times a day, usually multiple times a day.
me too. And I have developed that capacity to take time to stop. And I mean, mostly because it's so rejuvenating for my body and my energy level. That's one of the reasons I love to do it. But the other reason is because then I can reflect and I can look at what my choices are and I can review things and speculate things, but also to hear the answers and to just hear what comes out of the silence because the creation all comes out of silence. And thoughts is the place where all our creations start, right?
Yep.
So I
Yeah.
think it's so beautiful to have those times that we set aside to just be quiet.
Yeah, and meditation, it is my sleep aid. Every night I meditate as I go to sleep. I will be in full meditation while falling asleep.
Uh-huh.
And then sometimes when there's time, if I'm not up against a deadline when I wake up, then I have meditation in the morning before I leave the house. But I've also got a teenager in high school, so we're leaving the house in the 5 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. So with
Ah,
that, it depends on the day, but on a day that it is leisure, I am always getting meditation in the morning as well.
beautiful. Very
Yeah.
nice. Well, Vinny, it's been so amazing to hear you talk. And as I've been hearing you talk, I have had an understanding about that your biggest adversity is integrating the light.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it is the strongest and best thing for me, but
Uh-huh.
at the same right, I don't fully uh, embody that light the way I want to. That's my goal every day is to be a
Yes.
better embodiment of that light every single day.
Yeah, and that inspires me to have the same aim. I really appreciate
I
you
love it.
making it that clear. And I think that will, and I love how you talk about having the first half hour and the last half hour of the day dedicated to strengthening your connection with spirit. I love that.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. The hour of power is your most pristine hour of your day
Hmm.
because you're literally framing who you are. And if you were to create a picture of who you are, your first 30 minutes, your last 30 minutes of your day, it's setting the tone and setting the theme of who you are. So it's very important you put good things there. If you put crazy entertainment or social media or sports or news or finances there, then you're going to find out who you're actually worshiping.
Or stress or conflict
Or
or,
stress, conflict.
yeah,
That's same difference, right? News,
yeah.
stress, conflict, it's all the same.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, so beautiful to hear your journey and where you've been, and that what you haven't talked about is what an incredible impact you're having on the world. And Vinny, before this, Vinny told me he has like 16,000 emails to respond to.
Yeah,
You know,
in fact I am behind right now about yeah, 16 and 16,700 emails today.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's hard to keep up, but it's yeah.
so
I feel
I
like
think,
I'm fighting a forest fire with a thimble, but I keep trying. I've enrolled some help, and even with that help, we're still having a hard time with it. But you know what? We're gonna keep fighting, putting the good
well,
fight out there.
the point I was trying to make is that your light has touched many, many, many people, and that people are coming to you as a beacon of light and truth, and are looking to you for to have to increase that light in their own life. So
Yes.
not only have you had this experience, and not only are you working to integrate it, but in that process, you have become such a beacon of light in the world, and that so many people now are gravitating toward your message. And when I talk to you about people, I always talk about how incredibly authentic you are. And this interview has been completely, I'm like, oh my God, I just so didn't expect you to say that. And it's like you're off on this whole other thing that is completely new in the moment and exactly appointed to the question that I ask you. So it
Yeah,
was,
my goal is to always be as authentic as possible. To me, that's paramount to this existence. And if I can be authentic, I am in a place where I can grow and I can make an impact in a positive way. And that's my goal every single day.
and you give ten lessons that you got in heaven, and people can read your book for that and stuff. I don't want to go through we don't have time right now to go through the whole thing, although I would love to, but I do know that being authentic is number one at the
It
top.
is. It's
So
number one,
would you
paramount.
share with my audience, since we sort of touched on that, why is being authentic number one?
Well, if we're not being authentic, it's like building a house without a foundation.
Mhm.
Eventually, whatever you build is going to crumble. So until you can figure out who you are and admit it honestly and build from there, any building that you're doing is going to collapse on itself. So, in my experience, I learned that authenticity is the most important thing for us. Too many people, they build their personality around something they don't even care about. And when you're being authentic, you're not going to do that. Authenticity is more important than anything else in your life. Because if you can't be authentic, you can't give or receive love. You can't. It's authenticity that allows you to give love or receive love. Yeah,
So beautiful. So beautiful. I gave a summit last year called Awakening Your Authentic Self.
I love it.
And that's what I had 20, almost 30 speakers speak about how they connected with their authentic self. And for people who are subscribing, I'll put a link to that summit. You can probably you could listen to that if you want to hear any people talking about it, because authenticity is such an amazing thing. And that's one of the things I love about you so much. I mean, there are many, many things, but that's one of the things. So before we talk about how people can get in touch with you and how they can learn more about your experience and the wisdom that you're radiating into the universes. Do you have anything that you would like to add or any final words for my folks?
Well, I would love to express to your audience that you are not the body that you are living in. You are the soul, you are the spirit, you are the energy that does exist inside that body. And that is who you are. That is a fractal of who you really are. And you are a divine masterwork. The whole universe wants to be you. Appreciate that, recognize that, and start to live the divinity that is the divinity inside you.
So beautiful. Thank you, Vinny.
Thank you,
Very
Peggy.
nice. Yeah, so beautiful. Such wise. That's the quintessential message of this podcast and the way that the way that I got in touch with my divine nature was by working through my adversity. And so I'd like for people to understand that adversities are not just to make us miserable or the positive side to build character, but also to help us connect with all that we are and the truth of who we are so that we can bring that divine love and intelligence and light into the world. So that's, really summing up my underlying aim with this effort here. So thank you so much. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how people can get a hold of you and all that?
Yeah, I've got a nonprofit called Living God's Light. So it's livinggodslight.org or .com, but .org is where we're at. Livinggodslight.org, you can find everything with me. Of course, my book's on Amazon too, but you can find it through the website if you want. Yeah.
And tell us the name of your book. It's very
It's
beautiful.
called The Light After Death because that's really what my death did is it taught me that we are all light. We are all that divine power. And it's up to us to find that. And it took me to die to learn how to live. And that's the way I live now.
Beautiful. Oh, thank you, Vinny. So
Thank you,
beautiful.
Peggy.
I'm so happy. Hold on for a minute when I say goodbye.
Okay.
Okay, and bye everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you were as deeply touched as I was by Vinny's incredible eloquence, the stream of pure light coming out of his eyes and the music of truth that comes from his mouth. So hope you all have been enriched by that. And thank you for joining me. I'll see you on the next episode. And be sure to subscribe. If you'd like to send a review, that would be great. And I will see you next time. Okay, so long for now, guys. Well, thanks for being a fan of the podcast, and I would love if you would subscribe. Also, wanted to remind you about that mighty little app, Tap for Joy, and share with you about the amazing features for just $5 a month, like a no brainer, right? You're going to get some amazing tools for decreasing stress and increasing happiness, like a happy memory journal, which rewires your brain for happiness. You're going to get a bunch of customized tapping dialogues, which pinpoint and target your stress areas, a learn center, a bunch of other stuff, and a 5-day challenge. Highly recommend that for getting the most out of your results for decreasing stress and increasing happiness. So check out Tap for Joy. Download it now in the Apple Store. Try it out. You'll be surprised and amazed at how amazing it is, how remarkable it is, and how transforming it is. And I will see you on the next episode. So long for now.